Can United get back into the top 6? 3 points tonight. We'll see them there. Joining me in commentary, Archie Thompson. Good evening, Archie.
Hey, Zappers. Yeah, beautiful night for football here in Melbourne. Monday night football.
Josh Risdon with an early ball forward for Diamanti. He looks to release Connor Payne. You might remember in the last time these sides met, it was Lachie Wales who scored within the first minute, and Western United were trying to replicate that with a fast move forward tonight.
Yeah, really exciting for Western United. Obviously haven't had great results against Newcastle, and to get that result away from home was great for the club. And you've got to think of the context of where Western United are at the moment. They've got a few games in hand, obviously above some of those teams in that 6. But for Mark Rudin, it's obviously keeping them and his players contained and taking that pressure off.
Here's Lustica, who only found out minutes ago that he'd be starting tonight. Lachie Wales, who's been terrific in the last month. Nice ball in by Wales, looking for Besart Berisha. He just couldn't control it. The veteran striker. And he'd be desperate to get back on the scoring sheet. Besart Berisha hasn't got the best record against the Newcastle Jets. Has 6 goals in 24 games against Newcastle. Easily his worst record against any side in the A-League.
Yeah, sometimes you find as a striker there's teams that you just want to score so badly against, but you know, sometimes it's those defenders that they have that number on you. I know when I look at that back 2, especially in that central defence, Topper Stanley and obviously Lachlan Jackson, they're so strong and have such physicality. But Besart Berisha likes that sort of stuff. But like I said, once you have your number on a team, it's so difficult to break it.
Good to see Nigel Bogard back in the squad. I bet Besart Berisha is happy that he's only returning via the bench. He's been out for quite some time. So Lachie Jackson's been doing a good job in the interim.
Yeah, a real interesting one for me is obviously the formation change with the back 4 of Western United. We're so used to seeing that back 5, especially the 3 in the middle. And I guess for Connor Payne, being out in that left back position, obviously his positioning has to be a little bit different, I suppose, to that back 5 that they're used to playing.
And it's something that Mark Redan was forced into, that back 4 in the second half on Thursday night. This is Valentino Yule, the Newcastle Jets. Ball falls back to him. Of course, former Western United player, made his A-League debut last season with Western United. A player that learnt a lot from Johnny Anastasiadis, the assistant coach here at Western United in his time in the Victorian NPL. Garkovic, who comes back into the starting 11 this evening. Can't control it. Now the home side move it forward. Sanchez to Connor Payne. Loves getting forward, does Connor Payne. Inside the area now, looking for an option. Diamanti in some space, quickly closed down, but still alive. Parias stings the palms of Italiano. Still in play. Speaking of Italianos, here's one of them, Diamanti. Nice ball inside for Risdon, but caught offside. The Socceroo Josh Risdon. Great to see him back in action. He's been missing for so long, and for him to back up tonight just speaks volumes for his fitness levels. Archie played a full game on Thursday night after missing 6 months of football, and backs up just with a few days break.
Yeah, he's so important for Western United, especially when they go forward. I know that Dylan Perez has been awesome in that position, but just one thing you've got to be wary of, think of Connor Payne being in that back 4, is when he does go forward. You've seen that Victor Sanchez came across. He's got to be careful he doesn't get caught out of position, especially in that transition phase. But you see with Dylan Perez with that start, he had a beautiful shot low down. He's been a real joy to watch, and you can see the confidence he has. He wants to get forward, he wants to get himself in the goal scoring positions, And he's starting to become that consistent player that I like to see, especially when youth players come into the A-League. Sometimes they're a bit up and down, but when you can start to find that consistency, we're starting to see it with Lachie Wales. He's getting himself a few goals, and that's important. But like I said, touching on Josh Risdon, you know, you'd think he'd go into a game start and he wouldn't be going 10 men after, 40 minutes. But for him to back it up, pretty sensational.
Newcastle Jets, of course, have drawn their last 2 after that terrible run of 7 losses on the trot. But Melbourne Victory, of course, scored a big win on Friday night against Western Sydney, lift them off the bottom of the table. So all of a sudden, there's a bit more pressure on Craig Dean's side to get off the bottom of the table. They'll win a corner kick here. No, they won't. Cordams thought about it, but decided it was a goal kick. 3 wooden spoons in their history. 08-09 under Gary Van Egmond, 14-15 under Phil Stubbins, and 16-17 under Mark Jones. Craig Deans won't want to add his name to that list.
Look, I was obviously speaking to Craig Deans this morning about his team and his team's form. He said that they're being competitive. They've just been losing from the odd goal here and there. But obviously their woes are in front of goals because they've only scored a double, I think, in 2 matches of 18 games. And, if you're going to win games, you need to score goals. And unfortunately, they haven't been able to do that. And I guess it's probably about them finishing the season strong, giving them supporters a bit of hope leading into next year. There's certainly a lot to play for tonight.
Long ball cut out by Connor O'Toole. Speak of players gaining experience, he's one of them this year. Here's Piraeus, cuts the ball back. Lachie Wales made a terrific run. It just needed to be a touch further back, and he might have had another. He's in a rich vein of form, Lachie Wales, and enjoying the extra game time that he's seeing at Western United.
Well, he certainly had to bide his time to break into the starting 11, and we did have glimpses of him, but you're a young player coming to a new club.
And here's Risdon again to Piraeus. This time he loops it to the back post. Lachie Wales was there. It falls for Alessandro Diamanti. Can he get there? He can. Diamanti! Looking for his first of the season. It wasn't too far away, sailed over the bar.
Again, it was that beautiful run in behind from Dylan Piraeus. Just drifts the ball at the back post. Lachie Wales tries to get there, but they just don't clear it. Just skips away a little bit here from Diamante. Just one thing that's missing in his game at the moment this year is goals, but you want him up in those positions and then around that 18-yard box because we know how sweet that left foot is.
How about that smile? He knows he wasn't too far away. A family night tonight too. We saw Tomoki Imai walk out with his 2 children he hasn't seen for a long, long time. I think I might have seen Alessandro Diamanti walk out with a couple of his children as well. Great to see. Here's Nikolai Topol-Stanley, one of the most experienced players on the park. Garkovic.
And just touching on Lachie Wales, what I was saying is that, sometimes it takes a little while to get into a club and know the system and know the players. And, Mark Ruden's done wonders with his confidence, and you can see it out on the pitch.
Diamanti, nice touch for Piraeus. Back to Diamanti, looked to release early that time. We don't often see it, but he's miscued that one. Trouble here, Connor Payne. Can't win back possession. This is a good chance for the Newcastle Jets. Stamatolopoulos. Just a little header there for Valentino Yule. He was in some terrific goal-scoring form early in the season, Valentino Yule.
Well, you could see what Diamante was trying to do there. He loves to switch the ball and just another point of attack. And when he gets that right, they're so dangerous, Western United. But you could see that Lachie Wales and Connor Payne were free. He had to just connect that ball a little bit better. They were going to break. But yeah, Valentino Yule, we're seeing glimpses of what he's capable of. I know that sometimes you do go into a slump in form.
4 goals this season, but hasn't scored since round 7, Archie. Here's Diamanti again, now on that favoured left. This time he tries at the near post. And off target again. That's 2 shots for the Italian superstar already. Some warning signs starting to emerge for the Jets here.
Pretty disappointing defending from Newcastle Jets, knowing that he's always going to cut back onto that left foot, and you can't give him an acre of space. Like I said, in and around that 18-yard box, because he's going to pull the trigger. But it's great to see also Ugarkovic back in the starting 11. I know he's had his issues with his back. We've seen again that beautiful goal of the year, possibly last game against MacArthur. But he's someone that really gives a lot of energy in that centre of the park.
Yeah, tonight he gets his 15th start of the campaign. He's been one of the omnipresents in their starting 11 this season. Here's Lustica, who was a late inclusion tonight, if he just joined us. Luke Dizelle was originally named to start in midfield, but injured his groin during the warm-up. So Lustica, the late change. Here's Lockie Wales now, getting in behind again. Wales passes it across, and that's an own goal. Western United will take the lead. Did it take a touch from a defender? It's in the back of the net. That is the first goal of the evening. And it's the home side, just like they did 3 weeks ago. Lockie Wales playing a big part in that one.
Well, it was a beautiful ball in behind. Lockie Wales runs off the shoulders. And I think it's Topper Stanley that just gets a touch to it. Usually we're seeing him clear those opportunities, but what a beautiful run. And that's what you want from your wide players, to put it in a dangerous area. Just makes defenders second guess, and unfortunately for Topper Stanley, he gets a foot to it, angles it into goal, because you felt that ball was going to just drift across because Bessart Parisha wasn't close. But it was a beautiful ball in behind, and Lockie Wales.
Yeah, as I suspected, there was a touch there. My eyes weren't deceiving me, Archie.
My eyes are struggling, mate.
But Lockie Wales has been fantastic in the last few weeks, and started tonight on fire as well. Here's Valentino Yule, who'll try with an immediate response and miscues his effort.
Yeah, you can just see here, probably was unaware that Bessart Parisha wasn't going to get that ball, but you still, as a defender, need to get something on it. Obviously not directed at goal, but yeah, disappointing for Newcastle Jets, because you don't want to concede so early against the Western United team that are starting to show some form.
Lockie Wales scored his 3rd goal in his past 4 games against Wellington on Thursday night. That came after he'd scored just 3 goals in 74 career games prior to this, and played a big part in that first goal for Western United this evening. One that Graham Arnold, I'm sure, will be watching closely as we continue our countdown to the Olympics.
Well, he's going to have some headaches, because there's so many quality young players out there that are putting their hand up for selection for Tokyo. I know that with Lockie Wales, he just seems to be adding different dimensions and elements to his game. And probably you're seeing with before he came to Western United, he used to play out wide and probably stay out wide. I think he's being more affected, whereas he stays out wide. If he doesn't get it, he comes inside, and he's creating himself opportunities. You've seen it last week against Wellington. Pops up in the 18-yard box. Nice little touch and hits the bottom corner.
And some news that Western United and other clubs will welcome. I can reveal tonight, Archie, that Football Australia will announce in the next day or so that the Olyroos that are selected will be able to stay until the end of the A-League campaign, and they will not be missing from finals action. So that announcement to come in the next day or so. And that's great news for all of those Olyroos who can prepare here in the A-League with their clubs, play finals, and then head over to Japan.
Yeah, it's certainly great news for the players, but even more importantly, the fans and their clubs, because they've had big parts to play. You know, I guess I look at Melbourne City, where they are, and the quality of players that have got them in that position. You'd almost think that a lot of those will go into Tokyo, but, you know, it's fantastic that we get to see these players play the whole season and give their clubs the opportunity to play in finals and win a final, possibly.
And big help to Melbourne City, because they'll lose a few to Socceroos, but there are also a handful there. Tommy Glover, of course, one of them for Melbourne City, who will welcome finals action. Wales here at Western United, potentially. Dylan Perias, I know, has someone who's also fits the mould and qualifies in terms of his age.
You can just see the Newcastle Jets, especially the two midfielders, Fergate and Ugarkovic, were a bit disappointed in Italiano just giving that long ball. They haven't had too much possession. You could see they just wanted to get down and play it a little bit, play themselves into this match, because at the moment they just haven't got that continuity.
Quickly taken by Diamante, and Dylan Perias was surprised as anyone.
Maybe he's thinking of Tokyo.
So a bright start for the home side here at Amy Park. Perfect conditions in Melbourne for Monday night football. That's brilliant by Diamante. He left them in their wake. Tries a shot. He noticed Italiano off his line. The execution quite not. Yeah, the shot count is mounting for Alessandro Diamante. That's 3 within the first 17 minutes.
Yeah, you can tell he wants one, but
I had a go at him during the week and said, you haven't scored yet. You might need to put one in the back of the net.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Zappers is on your back, you need to score, right? But you could just see there with Diamante, he shaped to switch it, and that's what Western United do well. And Ugarkovic knows that and almost put his foot out, but it was a beautiful cut back in. Unfortunately, his right's probably not as great as his left.
Foul on O'Donovan. Newcastle just need to slow things down, Archie, you'd imagine, and just retain some possession, put some passes together and start to take back some of the flow of the game.
Yeah, you can see that with Newcastle. When they do get into kind of a rhythm with their passing and movement, they're actually a really great team to watch. It was a tough challenge for Durante there on Teno Yule. But yeah, once they get it down and start to play, get themselves a little bit further up the pitch, where they can start to use their combinations and quality around that 18-yard box. But you can just tell it's a team that's lacking confidence in that final third. It's good to see Roy O'Donovan starting to get on the score sheet.
It's Topple Stanley, who's on the score sheet, and his name wouldn't want to be because it's under the own goal column tonight. Deflection opening the scoring for Western United after that Lockie Wales cross. Garkovic sends it out wide. Thurgate. Just trying to slow things down and keep the ball for a while. Craig Deans' side here. Now Topple Stanley moves it forward. Stamatolopoulos wins the foul and move it quickly. This is Miller. Now Thurgate looking to cross it in. Not a bad one. And Stamatolopoulos wasn't too far away. He got a touch on it. It's out for a goal kick.
Just see Josh Risdon there. See when he made that challenge, let that foul a little bit further up the pitch. He tried to run back in. I could see that he was running a little gingery. I just hope he hasn't aggravated that ankle, which has kept him out for so long. It looks to be the case, unfortunately. It's a real blow for West United, losing 2 players so early on in a game, but hopefully nothing too serious.
We were talking about his wonderful ability to bounce back after such a long period out. Doesn't look good. The signal's coming from the physio that a change will need to be made. So let's just hope it's not serious for Josh Risdon, who's missed so much football. Aaron Calver preparing to come on. And he started the game so well too. Lots coming through that right-hand side. Here is the last challenge. Did he fall awkwardly there, Archie? You're saying it came before this.
It looks like a little bit there. He got a little niggle, but he just didn't seem to be running comfortably as he was coming back in to make that challenge. I just wonder now with that substitution, if they do go back to their old formation or maybe having Tomoki Imai, Durante and Aaron Calver in that back 3, because you're probably not going to get that output out wide if Aaron Calver comes in that position.
Well, we'll try and get some news on Josh Risdon, but he's walking off the park. Let's hope it's just precautionary and they're making sure that he doesn't further aggravate that injury that kept him out of the football for so long. So Aaron Calver replaces Risdon, and we'll keep an eye on that formation. But as you said, Archie, there may be a switch. Started tonight with a back 4, Western United. There's Valentino Yule. Moves things along. Ball cut back for Yule. Now Stamatolopoulos with the backfield for Jugarkovic. We saw him do it last week, and Steve Jugarkovic was only inches away from an equaliser. Terrific build-up play that time for the Newcastle Jets.
Yeah, it was beautiful link-up play. Luka Pershu out wide, link-up play with Valentino, gets the ball across. Just bobbles a little bit. Connor Payne can't clear it. That's all he had to do, is trying to lift it to the back post. You could almost sense that Ryan Scott had that covered. But Persho, really good persistence out wide.
Here he is, Persho. Can't win that one back for the Jets, so foul awarded to the home side here. Winless in their past 9 matches, Newcastle, but back-to-back draws against Perth and Macarthur, snapping what was a club record 7-game losing streak. They haven't gone winless in 10 straight games since the 16-17 season. So that year they picked up the wooden spoon. Here's Lockie Wales for Western United. Berisha looks to return the favour. Lockie Jackson pleads the danger.
Yeah, it looks like West United, they're going to stick with the back 4. Like I said, you probably won't get much going forward with Aaron Calver, especially in that right fullback position.
Here's Topple Stanley. Calver and O'Toole going hard at it, and you'd love to see that. Connor O'Toole, 18 games, 18 starts leading into tonight's fixture. It's 19 in a row for him. Terrific to see him, another youngster, getting all this game time.
Well, a nice little challenge there from Connor O'Toole. Yeah, been a real standout since he's moved to Newcastle Jets. He's finally getting some football. which what you want from your youngsters is to be able to have that consistency, but also have that game time where you can build your confidence.
Another one in that under-23 bracket. Diamante goes down under the challenge of Valentino Yule, and Kurt Ams will go into his pocket for a yellow card.
Diamante, really smart football in that situation. Just almost drills the foul. Valentino Yule got his arm up high. I'm not sure about a yellow card because he was just trying to go into the ball, but I guess if you're raising your arm up or elbow, possible yellow card, but a real dangerous area to concede a free kick, especially with the quality of Diamante at set pieces.
Yeah, we saw the Italian fouled 6 times on Thursday night against Wellington. He wins a free kick for his side here. Can they extend the advantage? Sanchez and Diamante over the ball for Western United. Italiano speaking to his defensive unit. Will it be the Spaniard or the Italian? The Italian this time to the far post. A great ball for Besart Berisha. And he doesn't need a second invitation, but the flag is up. The flag is up, and it won't count. Besart Berisha made a brilliant run, but perhaps just went too early. Well,
I know if you can draw a line there.
It's very tight because
there's an arm.
Player at the near post may have kept Besart Berisha on. So VAR's having a look at it.
That'd be really interesting because what a beautiful ball from Diamante. Really in an area where the keeper's uncertain to come out, but it's the pace.
Well, there it is. It has been cleared. Decision upheld. No goal. There wasn't a lot in it. Play continues down the other end. Can they respond here? The Newcastle Jets. Scott comes. Donovan is there. And Donovan got very close indeed. The Western United keeper spilt it, and it almost fell for the Jets striker.
It was a beautiful ball in by him. Matty Miller there.
End-to-end stuff now as Lachie Wales moves it quickly, decides to prop and wait for some support. Now, Lustica. Connor Payne. A terrific challenge. It was clean. It took the ball, and it also took a deflection on the way through. And Newcastle win the ball back. Steve Ugarkovic will be framing that one.
Well, he needed to make that challenge. And it was a great challenge because he had to go with Connor Payne, and Connor Payne had the pace behind him to be able to knock it past Ugarkovic, but he read that really well, and that's what Ugarkovic, his quality is when he's playing for this Newcastle Jets team. He reads the game so well, and he does make a lot of those last-ditch tackles. But you can see that danger that West United have when they do go out wide with the speed in behind.
Imai wins the header. A long ball from Topol Stanley. This is Ugarkovic, who's been busy for the Jets in the first 30 minutes.
Almost wondering how much running Connor Payne has in his legs. I know, speaking with Mark Rudin, I think he was in bed for the last 2 or 3 days with a bit of the flu. Probably caught in Tassie, you know how cold it can be down there.
Yeah, but he wanted to play, and here he is tonight doing a good job. Ugarkovic evades the challenge. O'Donovan. Diamante looking for the pass from Sanchez. Sanchez has it. Now Diamante yelling for it. It goes in that direction. The Italian controls it and then loses it. Thurgate and Diamante wins it back. Terrific from the Italian. Now Lachie Wales again in plenty of space. This is dangerous again for the Jets. Lachie Wales shoots Italiano saves. It's really opened up. Third game. Plenty of space in the midfield. Ugarkovic. Miller. Stamatolopoulos. Now topples Stanley. Here's O'Toole. Valentino Yule, who's now swapped flanks. Kelva came on for the injured Josh Risdon. Sees it out for a throw-in.
Yeah, Lachie Wales. Craig Deans will be disappointed on his team's defending and allowing that much space for Lachie Wales to attack. But he did everything right there because there wasn't too many options to pass that ball across. Took it on himself. Just probably the perfect height for a goalkeeper to reach out and save it, but get in those positions, you do want to go to that back post.
Archie Thompson would know. He's scored plenty in his time. Here are the Jets. Can they find the equaliser here? O'Donovan at the near post. Almost got a foot on it. Desperate defending. Sees it out of play.
Again, Matty Miller getting some space out wide. Delivering it really hard and low across that 18-yard box. Boy, Donovan just needs to get a bit of a yard ahead of his defender. But Tamaki Imai so strong in those situations.
Diamanti to Berisha. Back to Diamanti and Lachie Wales again. Look at the space for Lachie Wales. Needs to switch it and he sees it. Aaron Calver making the run forward. Can he find the delivery? Calver too close to Jacob Italiano. They're finding plenty of room down that left-hand flank, aren't they, Archie?
Yeah, and that's something that needs to really tighten up for Newcastle Jets. They know in those transitional situations how quick Western United go forward. But it was a great run from Aaron Calver to give him that option out wide.
Garkovic to O'Toole, puts him under pressure, does well to win it, but then couldn't control it on the second touch. Again, look at the space for Diamanti and Lachie Wales on the opposite flank. He gets on his left and sends it in the Wales direction. It's like they're almost happy to give Wales this space. Here he is again to Connor Payne. Now Payne turns on his right. The shot is easy to manage on that occasion from Dylan Piraeus.
You can see Lachie Wales out there sucking in the big ones. He's made a lot of explosive runs into that attacking half.
This is really open. Look at this space here now for the Jets. Stamatolopoulos looking to return the favour to Matty Miller, who made the run. I haven't seen the games this open in a while, Archie. There's almost like the midfield is non-existent at the moment.
Yeah, probably entertaining for fans and supporters, but not so much for the managers. The ease of how teams are allowed to go forward. We see that well with Matty Miller. He likes to drive from out wide, direct to goal. It was a beautiful layoff.
This is Luca Bruchot with the corner to the near post, headed away by Besat Berisha for Steve Ugarkovic. Now Valentino Yule tries to get around Sanchez. Uses his body well, the Spaniard, and wins the free kick for Western United.
Such a really smart player, Victor Sanchez. Just gets himself between the ball and the defender. But with Western United going to the back four, it does leave them a little bit vulnerable in that transition. You know, we like this with Western United. They like to push their wing backs going forward. And when you're playing with, you know, not the back five or the back three in that central defence, they're a lot open. And obviously for Andrew Durante, he'd probably like that support in and around him with that back three because, you know, of that speed that he probably doesn't have.
Durante wins the header against Peugeot. Now, Berisha. That's a hospital ball by Bessa Berisha. Here's a great opportunity for the Newcastle Jets to equalise. Stamatolopoulos fluffed his lines. He had Roy O'Donovan next to him, and that was the best chance that the Jets have had this evening.
He should have done so much better in that situation. Just seemed like Roy O'Donovan just couldn't get the ball at his feet quick enough to, or almost had in his own mind, should I take the shot on? But Stamatolopoulos still should have done better with his touch. And that just shows probably what Newcastle Jets are going through this season, is that they get themselves in great opportunities, but that cutting edge and that confidence in front of goal seems to go away.
Western United have only won consecutive games just twice this season. Looking to do it tonight. Although, sorry, they drew on Thursday night, won the game before that against the Central Coast Mariners, and just highlights their season so far. Not stringing wins together. Here's Diamanti. Now Connor Payne inside the area. Can he bring something forward here? Wales. Dangerous ball in, and it's well handled in the end by Connor O'Toole. The first corner of the evening for the home side.
It was a beautiful little floated ball in by Lockie Wales. Connor O'Toole did really well to get ahead to that, because you could just see Dylan Perez just check off a little bit. It felt like if he didn't get that right, that ball would have just landed perfectly for him.
Short corner taken. Diamanti inside the area. Dribbles one way, then the other. Terrific Diamanti to the far post. Valentino Yule was there to save the day for the Jets. That was brilliant to watch. Sanchez. Plenty of Jets jerseys to clear the danger.
So unpredictable when he gets himself in those sort of situations. You see when he does go on his left, you think as a defender, okay, he's going to play it out wide, because we're so used to seeing him just whip it in. Then he cuts it back, then he chops it back again. It's so hard to defend, especially in around that 18-yard box, because you don't want to lunge in and give a foul away.
Here's Steve Lustica. Andrew Durante, who of course played his 350th A-League game on Thursday night, joining some greats of the NSL and A-League era to amass over 400 games now, and still going well. Here's Connor Payne, moves it quickly to Lockie Wales. He set up the first goal, Lockie. Has he got something here for a second? Tried an intricate pass to Diamanti. Once again, the Jets managed to get their numbers back.
You can see what Diamanti was trying to do. He was just trying to do a little lob over the defender for Connor Payne, but it was such a tight area. You can see with Connor Payne, he drifts into a little pocket, and Diamanti finds him, and Akers is supposed to be able to turn and really attack the Newcastle Jets defence.
Here he is then, again, providing that width. Payne and Diamanti. Will stick up inside for Sanchez. Newcastle with everyone behind the ball. Payne again. He's found that pocket you were speaking of, Archie. Sanchez, Wales, it's working well for them down that left-hand side. Lustica. Newcastle look better organised now to thwart the attack. So United forced back inside their own half. They're starting to press a little bit higher, Newcastle, Archie, not allowing Western United that space in that midfield we saw in the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, and that's something that we need to do a little bit better. Certainly does put the pressure on the West United players to be able to play. But you could see the way that Connor Payne and Lockie Wales seem to be finding a lot of space out wide, because Connor Payne doesn't always stay out wide. He comes inside, and that allows Lockie Wales to make these sort of runs. And as defenders for Newcastle Jets, they don't know whether to come inside, stay out wide. Puts a lot of confusion, and that's when they're so dangerous at going forward.
Tried a different approach that time, the long ball over the top. Lockie Wales manages to win another corner kick for Western United. Here's Victor Sanchez over the ball. Will they try a short one? They tried that last time. Diamante inside. Headed away. Lustica. Shot deflected. Diamante uses his body well. Regains possession. Loops it over the back. It's not far away. Italiano forced to flap at it. Got a touch. Wasn't too sure whether it was going to loop in over the back. Calva and Perez. Now Sanchez. Diamante closed down quickly. They know the danger he presents. Takes a deflection, and that's a throw-in for the Jets.
Just dwelled a little bit on the board, Diamante, looking for options off the ball. But that cross, such an awkward one for a goalkeeper, because you don't know if it's going to bounce off the crossbar. You almost felt that if it was a little bit more in, Dylan and Perez could really attack it. Here we see, just kind of gets his angles a little wrong for Newcastle Jets. But they're thankful that it went out the back.
Almost Kyra Cooney Cross-esque in the grand final of the W League.
Oh, how good was that?
Not dissimilar, although that came directly from a corner. Italiano with the long ball. Miller inside. Donovan comes deeper. To O'Toole. Now Ugarkovic. Much better from the Jets in the last few minutes. Bruchot.
Real patient build-up by Newcastle Jets.
Bruchot for Valentino Yule, wasn't far away. The idea was right, just a bit heavy on it.
They just had to bide their time a little bit, Newcastle Jets, because you could just see that West United really set up their structure and wasn't allowing that space in behind. So a lot of the balls were coming to feet. You can see when Valentino Yule makes a real positive direct run, that's when they start to cause a little bit of problems for West United.
Ryan Scott under pressure there, and you see what that pressure does. Forces a rushed clearance. Newcastle win the throw-in as a result. 9 starts in a row now for the Western United keeper. Tomoki Imai with the clearance. The Pressure kept up the pressure. Was there a handball there? There was, right in front of the commentary position. 2 minutes to be added at the end of this first half. After that stoppage for Josh Risdon, who came off injured. Looked like he's injured his ankle again, but good news for Socceroos fans and Western United fans was he did walk off the ground. Didn't seem like he was in too much discomfort, so let's hope it's just precautionary. We'll do our best to get some news on that before the evening is out. There's Piraeus. Does well to keep it in. Did it stay in? It looked like it might have gone over. Play on is the call. Piraeus continued and wins the corner kick.
I don't know, just from our commentary box, that ball seemed to be out by... Does that ball... Look, oh, that seems to go out there.
The assistant was right there, Archie.
He's got better eyes than I do, that's for sure.
He's in perfect position.
Better go check out Specsavers.
Remember, all of the ball has to be over the whole of the line. Corner kick, Western United. Sanchez looks for Diamante. Thurgate read it well. You're trying to position yourself for one of those TV ads that need spectacles, Archie. Might feature in the next campaign.
Oh, no, I actually do need glasses. I am struggling, but I don't know, it's the older you get. Things don't seem to be working as well as they used to.
There's a line there, Archie, but I won't use it. It's still before 9 o'clock.
Just the eyes, mate, just the eyes.
There it is, it's half-time here at Amy Park, and it's the home side with the advantage, Western United, courtesy of a Lockie Wales cross, which was deflected by Nikolai Topol-Stanley. An own goal, the difference here after the first 45 minutes. Western United 1, Newcastle Jets 0. If they hold on to this, of course, they'll end up in the top 6 tonight for just the second time since round 1. That's their motivation. Newcastle Jets have motivation of their own. Looking to get off the bottom of the table